What's up, church? I am back to bring you your recap on Married to Medicine, Season 6, Episode 2, and it is titled, I Don't Talk to Dentists. I know this recap is a tad bit late than I promised because I wanted to get this recap to you yesterday, as well as the current episode to you yesterday. But I promise you guys are getting this one now, and I will get this current episode, episode 3, done by tonight for you guys. I promise. I have to keep my word for the church. But yesterday I had a counseling session with my therapist and that went phenomenally. And then I went on a date, and not a date where it could be taken too seriously, church, but I did go out on a date to the movies. Haven't been to the movies in a while. It was called Crazy Rich Asians, and the message at the end was so profound for me because of having a recent breakup, and it resonated with me because it gave you scenarios of a rich couple or a rich person or a person coming from wealth marrying and dating somebody who is not as financially affluent or stable. And granted, I am not rich, but I do know the insecurities that arise, the problems that arise, the issues that are caused or happen when people are not equally yoked. And in this movie, there was a brother and sister who was heirs to a particular fortune, and they both decided to marry people who would be considered commoners or not on their level financially. And there was various issues, but the one thing that I loved from that movie that the sister who found out her husband was cheating on her said to him was, he said that he felt like his wife's wealth and his family made him feel less than a man or emasculated. And she said, no, it was not my wealth or me trying to downplay myself or keeping things from you that made you feel less than a man. It was you being a coward, not having integrity, not having security. And she said, it is not my job to make you feel like a man. And I was about to shout in that damn movie theater, my God, it is not my job to make you feel like a man. That's your parents' job, your mother's job, and your job. It is not your partner's job to make you feel like a man. You have to feel, know, and be a man before you arrive, my God, because no one else can make you feel better than you can make yourself feel. But let's get into this recap because I'm already sidetracked, but the movie was so great, and it also kind of correlates with marriages, relationships, and things that are going on even in Married to Medicine, my God. The episode started with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon, aka Dr. Daddy, and of course she went back to tell him that Mariah made claims about him cheating, and it threw me off because he gave this baby talk and clueless like, oh my gosh, why would she say such a thing? I've never talked about her. Why would she even conjure this up? I would never drag the women into a men's argument, so why would she bring me into you guys' argument? And I was looking like, from a certain angle, Dr. Daddy, you are coming across very guilty from the aspect of trying to present yourself so clueless. But I will say, his behaviors in the past and other scenarios have always been this, I'm not comfortable with speaking up on camera. I have this light, dainty voice, but it's confusing because Heavenly puts her man on such a pedestal. Oh, child is bringing memories back. She puts him on such a pedestal that you would believe that he was a lot stronger or more aggressive than what he really is. But now when I think back to my own situations, my God, I did the same thing. I had men who presented themselves as so gentle and seemingly so easy to deal with. But the reality of it is, me putting them on that pedestal is me going above and beyond to make them feel more secure. So maybe Dr. Damon has cheated, maybe he hasn't. But I will say, as long as he and Heavenly have been together, I'm not sure if I believe that nothing ever happened. Then Heavenly said, if Dr. Daddy, aka Dr. Damon, is cheating, then every man in the world is cheating. And I feel like that is a huge setup to be heartbroken. This is why I shared with you guys, when I attempted to commit suicide, it wasn't about trying to kill myself over a man. But when you allow yourself to believe something without a shadow of a doubt, with no room to allow error, the weight of that issue and thought and problem can push you to just not want to be alive. So I do hope that Heavenly is only saying that for an easy clap back and camera time, because if you think that your man is above cheating, and if he happens to cheat, that means everybody is cheating, that means you have your man on too high of a pedestal, my God, and you are setting yourself up to fall like Goliath. Because I will say, cheating or not, no man is perfect, and Heavenly allows her husband to present himself, well, she allows herself to present him as being perfect, my God. Then we were at Dr. Contessa's home, which I love the outer design and structure of her home. But when her baby girl was choking, I about lost it. Tears ran down my eyes because I've never seen a mother react so quickly without pause, with just concern for her baby girl. It was so scary because I'm thinking, I hope this does not turn badly. But she was on it, not as a doctor, but as a mother first. She didn't even bother to call her husband. Her focus was making sure her baby girl was okay. And so her choking, baby, that was scary because kids are a mess. The girl choked, mama saved her, and then was still eating the food horribly again. So it was a great moment to see from the aspect of we were able to witness, without a fabricated or made up storyline, the strength and superwoman of a mother, my God. Also in that scene, we saw Dr. Scott as well as Dr. Contessa sharing about her father's substance abuse issues in the past and how he was absent from her life on occasions. And when his check would come in, you knew he would disappear for a few days. And I thought it was so great to see Dr. Contessa be in a place of awareness in knowing that her dad never intentionally neglected her. And I love that she said, I'm a parent now. And I can process that my dad never intentionally neglected me. He was sick. And that was so powerful for her to be able to share that, because lots of times we see on these shows where people aren't able to connect or at least pinpoint that their parents may not have intentionally neglected them, but they were sick, as she said. He was sick. Then we finally got to see Quad somewhat in her element with her sister circle, real friends, girlfriends. I say real friends because the issue is she's considering Selena Johnson as well as the other girl, I don't know her name, from Sister Circle as her real friends, and no longer considering the doctors and doctors' wives her real friends, which is sad because they have been friends longer. But I do understand from Quad's perspective how certain friendships can be so new, but when there's an authentic, genuine, non-judgmental connection, it can just grow like a weed. And I know a weed is probably like a bad thing, but my whole point is, my God, that it is something that can grow so quickly and you be so attached when it is truly a genuine and authentic connection. Quad then shared that she feels like she can have an open dialogue with these people and not be judged, but with her friends, she would be judged. And I do get that, because even Toya had so much to say about Dr. Jackie in reference to what she wasn't doing to please Curtis when Curtis was the one who fucked up and cheated, my God. So I get that 100%. If you don't have the right group of friends, or friends who think they know your situation and really don't know all the details, it can be hard to want to have to convince your friends of the truth, especially, my God, when there are receipts to prove the truth. Also, it resonated with me when Quad reiterated that her husband was in a hotel room with another woman. And that resonated with me because people always jump into you being hurt because of the sexual act. There are so many things that come into play before sex happens that would hurt you when you feel like you've been betrayed by a partner, my God. It takes me back to just knowing that my most recent ex secretly went on a date with his ex-hoe, his ex-boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, and never ever told me, my God. So I know how quiet feels, because it's like you went on a date secretly with your ex or ex-hoe before I even broke up with you, and you claim to be this transparent counselor, therapist, psychiatrist. It can hurt. There are so many things, church, before you make it to the cheating aspect that makes you question and wonder, like, really, even though we had some issues and some hurdles and some hills, you can never get past lies, my God. As I've said in every recap, once the trust is broken, even before infidelity comes into the picture, it is so hard to recover, my God. Next, this quick scene with Dr. Simone and Cecil. They both have issues, my God. Typically, I'm all for one person being more at fault, and I don't care who disagrees with me, because you can do something actually wrong and be actually at fault, and the person and the other party involved can just be doing things that are reactionary. But they both seem to, maybe because the marriage is so long and has been so long, that they're at equal playing fields when it comes to the things that are going wrong, because Dr. Simone posted a photo of herself, which wasn't that sexy, my God. She didn't look ugly, but it wasn't that sexy. And her hopes was that Cecil would go to sleep and have wet dreams, my God. I guess opposed to wanting to have sex with her. But I feel like that was a little bit vindictive and immature of her to go that route when your husband is trying to make this work just as you are, and he wants to have sex with you. Now, I get that she also shared she needs to feel loved, whether it's through words or expression, before she wants to have sex with Cecil. But at the same time, if your man is trying, give him a little bit of something, my God. Give him some head or something if you're not gonna give him full penetration, because I do believe he's trying. I know later on in this episode, I saw him compliment her at Toya and Eugene's party. He complimented her on her look. So he is trying to give her the words of affirmation and love. But I was just not okay with her presenting him with a picture. It was almost as if she was playing with what he really desired and wanted from her, which is the same thing that she's doing, because he's playing around with things that she's desiring from him. Because for him to pat her on the head, I'm thinking, this is your wife, bro. You gave her a pat on the head. That was so dismissive, degrading, and demeaning, my God. Then we got to see Dr. Heavenly going to her anger management, which I thought was a great session. One of the most profound things that was shared during that session is truth. Honesty without compassion is brutality. And that's something I feel like even myself, I could use and have to kind of process, because I know that I always tell you guys, I have the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. I don't lie. But that hit me right upside the head, that telling the truth or giving honesty without compassion is brutal and damaging, my God. So I totally received that in that moment of anger management, because I know that I have an anger or temper when people hurt me, but also I have to acknowledge the fact that if I'm not sharing the truth with compassion, it is definitely damaging, my God. Now let's talk about this party that Toya is giving. Toya loves to give a party, my God. And it always scares me, because it's like, you had tax debt issues. The last thing on your mind should be a party. But she continuously gives us parties every season. It was also great to see her honor her husband on her birthday, which was a little strange, but her point makes sense for wanting to celebrate him in his promotion, my God. But I also think that the theme of the party was brilliant. I loved the medical theme. It was so cute for everyone to dress up in doctor and medical attire and uniforms, especially with this show being called Married to Medicine. So the theme was spot on and perfect. We saw Dr. Simone in her sexy nurse outfit. As I said already, this is the moment where I loved that Cecil complimented her on being sexy in this outfit. So it shows that he is trying to give her those words of love and affirmation that she desires. Now she has to give him some coochie, I believe, something. Then we heard Mariah said that she was gonna show up as Dr. Devilly with a greasy face and greasy wig. See, Mariah can be so nasty. See, this is why I have this Team Mariah when she comes across as mother, and then I hate Mariah when she comes across as evil. And I appreciate some good shade, but it's always confusing because it's frustrating because we're in another setting where Mariah is initiating, it seems like, the negative clapbacks as opposed to coming in positively and not saying anything about Heavenly. But I low-key loved the shade when Mariah said, I'm a doctor, I don't talk to dentists, when Heavenly tried to speak to her. And Heavenly's face was gathered and checked. So that was like the clapback of the season. It was so appropriate in that setting though. So that's why I feel like Mariah gets a pass for that kind of shade, but the devilly greasy face and greasy wig was inappropriate at that time. So Mariah is allowed to throw shade in certain areas, but I hate when she throws it first, especially in that scene where it took a moment for Heavenly to even speak to Mariah. But I love that Heavenly kind of took it, you know, took it well. Mariah laughed it off and then said hi to her as well. So that moment played out very well in my opinion. They were being adults, or at least trying to, my God. Then we saw the guys talking, and Cecil shared with Eugene that living apart pretty much prevents them from falling back into the same patterns. And I actually agree. That's why it's interesting to look at things from various perspectives. It would make sense that they should be together in the same house to work on it, because you feel like people will grow apart when they're apart. But if you've been married for 21 years and you happen to fall in the same cycle, moving back together so soon can force you to get too comfortable and fall back into your same cycle where living apart, you have to make more effort to go on dates, have sex, and do things to change the pattern that was causing your marriage to fail to begin with, my God. Then, did you guys catch in the confessional when they were talking about Dr. G not being present? And then Curtis, when he was in the confessional with Dr. Jackie, gave his 2 cents and said he completely understands how Dr. G feels and not wanting to show up because there was so much that was said about him that wasn't true when he was going through his cheating scandal, my God. Curtis, what was said about you that wasn't true? It seemed that everything that was said about you was 100% true, and I love the side eye that Dr. Jackie gave to Curtis because I was looking the same way. Bruh, what wasn't true? It all seemed to be true, but I commend Dr. Jackie for holding her tongue. But the problem with that is when you hold your tongue, it allows for people to then not know what you're really feeling or going through, and then at some point judge you because they don't know your truth. And so as a wife, I guess she chose her battles and not making that an argument nor a back and forth on camera. But the reality of it was, I think Dr. Jackie wanted to know specifically what it was that Curtis was saying was not true. Because let's be real, Dr. G is saying nothing happened in the hotel room. We know that Curtis had a full-on affair with that woman. Now, I loved Dr. Jackie's comment, I believe it was in her confessional, because Toya had her 2 cents, others had their 2 cents about Quad not showing up and how she would feel. And Dr. Jackie said, give advice until you have to sit on that seat. And I received that because there are people who just bash me, don't like me for sharing my truth. But you can give your opinion about my life, my God, until you have to sit on this seat and go through what the fuck I go through. And then you probably would feel the same and say the same things that I said while you're sitting out there critiquing somebody else from you giving an opinion on what you don't know nor have had to deal with, my God. Then to close this recap out, it was so disappointing to see Toya on the mic when she was supposed to be giving thank yous to her guests and appreciating her guests. And then she said, thank you to her core, and whoever is not here is clearly not a part of her core. When I tell you, I went up and gave God praise for Dr. Scott speaking up and checking Toya's ass. He first said he wanted to speak and share why his wife could not be there, but she wanted to be there. And then when Toya's ass said, oh, but she could have called me and told me, when he said, oh, there is a hierarchy, she had no need to call you, my God. Yes, I was so proud of that black doctor man for checking that woman, and it was so classy. It wasn't disrespectful, but he was spot on, because to think that Toya is so stuck on herself that somebody's father being ill or there being family issues mean that you are required to get a call beforehand, not after the fact, and then her own husband showed up as a representation, my God, stood in proxy for Dr. Contessa. Toya has lost her damn mind, and I do appreciate Dr. Eugene checking Toya from behind, low-key, respectfully, even to the point where later on in the episode, well, it was about to close anyway, he said, or at least insinuated, that Toya was being a bitch. My God. But it was so embarrassing when Dr. Heavenly called Dr. Contessa to have her back, because she saw that this woman was publicly going back and forth with her husband, to have Dr. Contessa give her 2 cents, and then for Toya's immature ass to put Contessa on the speakerphone, on the mic, and then went back and forth, and then was dismissive to her and her problems and her family issues. Baby, Toya, I like Toya sometimes, but in this moment, I could not stand her. She was totally out of line. It was disgusting, my God. It was horrible. And I appreciate Dr. Scott giving his additional commentary to other guys, saying he was not going to allow somebody to talk behind his wife's back. And I love when he said, say it to her face, my God. But that's about it, guys. Please follow me on all social media outlets. Comment down below in the comment section, thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notifications. Bye, guys.